Hi, it's Nina Morley Day of Today's Science, and we're here exploring physics today. My superpower, I know something about physics. Your superpower can be you can learn something about physics. So I just want to tell you a few things. First, we're going to look today at talking about structure and function and how stable objects are. So first thing we got to figure out is there's this thing called center of mass. So center mass is just what it says. If you took all the stuff in an object and put it in one point, that's the center of mass for that object. So for instance, for me, my center of mass is probably down lower. Alright, so we're looking at stability and we're looking at center mass. So center mass is just what it says. If you could take all the stuff that's in this ball and pull it down into one point, that point would be the center of mass for the material in this. So if you took all this plastic and you could magically shrink it down to one point, that'd be the center mass. And so in this case, the center mass of this ball is in the very center of the ball, but there's no mass there. That's okay. It's just a way to describe where the mass would be if you could put it all there. Alright, so here's another object we're going to look at to see where the center mass might be. Again, you see how more of the stuff in this cone is down here lower? So the center mass is going to be down in this lower area. Also, if you looked at it, it'd be right along the center point. Like if you could figure out the very center part of this circle and then go up there through the whole cone, the center mass is going to be along that line and probably someplace around here. So the center mass is basically where you take all material in the object and you can magically shrink it down to just one point. That would be where the center mass is. You got this great little frog. You can see a lot. The frog has a center mass that's going to be down lower. It's kind of like, if you can think, it's almost like a ball shape again. It's going to be kind of in the center part here. It's just basically a place where you can think of all the mass in this object is in one point. Alright, so again, one of the things that's real important with stability, where's the center mass and the base of support? And it can be a small base of support, it can be a larger base of support, and then you basically can tell how stable something is. And so if you want to be really stable, you got to have a very large base of support, or you have to have the mass really down low. So it's harder to move it away from the base of support. Because you've also seen this, like when you play Jenga and you get the really tall tower and it falls over. That has to do with the stability and the base of support. So try that, look at that, and then also you may have noticed the center mass when people are flipping things. If you flip the bottle and it lands, anytime it's in the air, this bottle is going to be rotating around its center mass. Alright, so here's one more thing that talks about or shows you some of these things with center of mass and stability. So if you're looking right here, you can see that it's attached to this little semicircle up here, and basically the center mass of this object is basically going to be someplace in a line below where it's supported. That's what makes it stable. So you can see right here, I can put a fairly large force on it, and it rotates, it rocks, it moves, it changes its position, but it's still stable. So again, center mass and stability are real important. So one of the things we want you to do at Today's Science is we want you to be interactive. We want you to go around and look for these things in your own yard, your own house. Find the top 5 most stable things you can in your house or your yard. Write them down and then you can share them with us. So here we go. We got another example of what you can look for at home. See things that you have that have the stability and center of mass. So got this little monkey dude, Curious George. Here he is. Where do you think his center of mass is? Is it up here? No, not so much. Down here where he's big fat belly, right? So again, that's where most of his mass is. See, he's got this kind of big base of support again, so he's fairly stable. He doesn't fall over, doesn't do a nose plant. Now think about it, there'd be no way that he would balance like this, whoops. But anyway, you can see that that's another thing that's stable. So I want you to be looking for places at your house, in your yard, that have center mass and stability. You know, come up with your top 5 things and share that with us at todaysscience.com. All right, thanks a lot.